I used to blow dry my bangs straight across every single morning and swear it made me look put together. It didn't, it made me look 10 years older, and nobody told me until a stranger at the grocery store asked if I wanted my usual trim. Assuming I'd worn that exact same cut since 1998. That's what we're fixing today. 5 hairstyles that feel safe, familiar, and done, but are quietly aging your whole face. And exactly what to ask for instead, so the next compliment you get is about you, not your consistency. I researched the worst style and beauty mistakes and the best fixes for women over 50 so you get real results fast. If you haven't already, hit subscribe. I cover this every week. Part 1. The flat bob that's quietly draining your face. Here's something your stylist has probably never said out loud. A one-length bob with 0 layers doesn't read as classic anymore, it reads as heavy. Weight pulls hair downward. Downward pull drags at the corners of your eyes and mouth. It's a straight visual line telling the room gravity has won. Even if your skin is doing everything right. You know the cut I mean. Chin length, blunt ends, same length front to back, maybe a little product to keep it neat. It was the safe choice for years. It photographed fine at 45. But past 50, that same blunt weight sits differently on a softened jawline. It doesn't frame you anymore, it boxes you in. Here's the part that stings a little. Most of us picked this cut because it felt low maintenance. And it is. That's exactly the problem. Low maintenance often means low movement, and movement is what makes hair look alive instead of static. So here's the one fix, and I want you to really hear this one. Ask for soft face framing layers cut around the jaw and cheekbone, blended so the ends taper instead of stopping in one hard line. Not choppy, not shaggy, soft. The stylist term is internal layering, meaning the layers live inside the shape, not chopped visibly at the surface. From the outside it still reads as a bob. It just breathes now. Why this actually works mechanically. Layering removes weight from the perimeter and redistributes it upward, near the crown and cheekbones. That lift does 2 things at once. It softens the visual line running from your eye to your jaw, and it creates natural volume that catches light instead of absorbing it. Flat hair absorbs light. Layered, textured hair reflects it, and reflected light around the face is one of the fastest, cheapest ways to look more rested, without touching a single skincare product. Ask specifically for layers that start at cheekbone height, not lower. Lower layers can accidentally add width at the jaw, which is the opposite of what you want. Cheekbone height layering pulls the eye up and out, toward your eyes and smile, instead of down toward the jawline. Here's the snapback moment, the actual result. Women who make this one switch tell me the same thing almost every time. People start commenting on their eyes again. Not the haircut, the eyes. Because for the first time in years, nothing in the frame is dragging the viewer's attention downward. A quick note on styling this at home. You don't need a round brush and 45 minutes. A simple diffuser on low heat, scrunching upward toward the roots while damp, does most of the work. The layers are doing the heavy lifting. Your job is just to not fight them by flattening everything with a paddle brush. Before, one heavy, blunt line pulling everything downward. Hair that photographs flat under any light. After, soft cheekbone height layers that lift, move, and catch light, doing quiet, constant work for your whole face. It's the same length. It's not the same haircut. And once your ends stop pulling down, there's a second problem hiding right above them. One that's usually working just as hard against you, in the opposite direction. Part 2. The bangs that are aging you from the forehead down. There's a version of bangs almost every one of us tried at some point, and it's the one that's most likely working against you right now. The severe, blunt, straight across fringe, cut precisely at the brow. I'll say the quiet part plainly. A hard horizontal line across the forehead does one specific thing to a mature face. It shortens it. And when a face gets visually shortened, everything below the line, the eyes, the cheeks, the mouth, reads as more compressed and unfortunately more tired. It's not your forehead. It's the line. Straight bangs were made popular by very young faces with very high, smooth foreheads and minimal texture up top. On a mature face, skin naturally softens along the brow, and a rigid straight line sits directly on top of that softness, drawing attention right to it instead of past it. Here's the fix, and it's a specific one, not a vague, try something softer suggestion. Ask for a curtain fringe, parted at the center and swept toward both temples, with the pieces cut on a diagonal instead of straight across. This isn't the same as growing out your bangs. It's a deliberate cut with its own shape, just an open one instead of a closed one. The mechanics matter here. A curtain fringe creates two diagonal lines instead of one horizontal line. Diagonal lines pull the eye upward and outward, toward your temples and cheekbones, the same way a good pair of eyebrows does. It's the difference between a line that boxes your face in and a line that opens it up. Ask your stylist for point cutting on the ends of the fringe pieces rather than a blunt scissor line. Point cutting leaves soft, feathered tips instead of a hard edge, so even the diagonal lines themselves stay gentle rather than graphic. This is the detail that separates a curtain fringe that looks professionally done from one that looks like bangs simply growing out unevenly. Here's the snapback result, and it's a real one. A curtain fringe doesn't just soften your forehead, it reshapes how your whole face is read at a glance. Instead of a horizontal stop sign at your brow, you get two lines gently guiding the eye toward your cheekbones and eyes. The parts of your face doing the most expressive work anyway. Styling is simple. Blow-dry the pieces outward and slightly back using a small round brush, or even just your fingers with a little smoothing cream while damp. You're not trying to hide these pieces, you're framing with them. Before, a blunt brow skimming line that visually shortens and compresses the face. After, a diagonal curtain fringe that opens the face outward and upward, guiding attention to your eyes and cheekbones instead of your forehead. Same amount of hair, completely different message. But bangs are only half the story up top, because there's an entire era of big hair habits still quietly living in a lot of our styling routines, and that one's next. Part 3. The perm that's stuck in a different decade. Nobody wants to hear this about a style they've kept for 20 years, but I'm going to say it anyway. A tight, uniform perm. The kind where every curl is the same small, springy size from root to end, is one of the fastest ways to visually age a photo. It's not that curls are aging. Curls are wonderful. It's that uniform, tight curls read as artificial in a way that natural hair movement doesn't. And viewers register artificial texture almost instantly, even if they couldn't tell you why. Here's what's actually happening structurally. Uniform curls of identical size create a repeating pattern with no variation. Think of it like a fabric print with the same shape stamped over and over. Repeating patterns read as processed to the eye. Natural hair, even naturally curly hair, has variation. Looser near the crown, tighter underneath, slightly different from strand to strand. That variation is what reads as alive. The fix isn't to abandon curl or texture altogether. It's to trade the uniform perm for a soft, loose wave pattern combined with a texturizing cut that varies the curl size intentionally, looser at the top and slightly more defined underneath. Ask your stylist specifically for a digital perm or loose body wave, using a larger rod size, and request that the rod size actually change in different sections rather than staying identical throughout. This is the fix that gets skipped most often, so let me be specific. Bring a photo to your appointment showing loose, varied waves, not a single curl close-up, a full head reference, because loose wave means something different to every stylist, and the reference photo does more work than any verbal description. The snapback result here is subtle but real. Varied wave patterns move when you move. They shift with your head, catch light differently from different angles, and photograph as dimensional instead of flat and stamped. People who make this switch often say the same thing. Friends ask if they've done something with their color, when really, it's the movement doing the work, not the color at all. At home, the biggest habit to break is overstyling. A uniform perm often gets scrunched and sprayed into rigid submission daily. Loose waves want the opposite. A light leave-in cream on damp hair, air-dried or gently diffused, and then left alone. The less you touch it once it's dry, the more natural the variation reads. Before, identical, tightly set curls in a uniform, repeating pattern that reads as processed at a glance. After, loose, varied waves that shift and catch light differently depending on the angle, reading as movement instead of a fixed shape. One is a hairstyle frozen in place. The other one moves the way you do. Curl pattern is one thing. Color is another entirely. And the color mistake coming up next might be the one doing the most damage of all 5, quietly, in every single photo you take. Part 4. The flat color that's making you look tired, not your skin. This one surprises people every time I bring it up. Flat, single-process hair color. One solid shade, root to tip with zero variation, is often mistaken for a skin problem, when it's actually a hair problem the whole time. Here's why. Skin naturally loses a little warmth and radiance as we age. That part's real. But flat, monotone hair color makes that effect worse, because a single solid color absorbs light evenly across the whole head, with nothing to bounce brightness back up toward your face. The result is a kind of dullness that people blame on tiredness or skincare, when the actual culprit is sitting 6 inches above the skin. Flat color was often chosen for a simple, understandable reason. It's low maintenance and it covers gray completely and evenly. But even total coverage is exactly what removes the natural variation your hair used to have. The subtle lighter and darker pieces that used to catch light around your face before gray started coming in. The fix is dimensional color, specifically face-framing highlights place 1 or 2 shades lighter than your base, concentrated around the hairline and temples rather than scattered evenly through the whole head. Ask for baby lights or fine foils placed only in the front third of your hair. You don't need dimension throughout. You need it exactly where light naturally falls on your face. This detail matters enormously. Ask for the highlights to be placed at a slight upward diagonal near the part line, angling away from your face rather than straight down. That upward angle mimics the way natural light hits a face from above, so the brightness reads as coming from within rather than painted on. The snapback moment women describe after this change is consistent. They stop hearing, "You look tired" altogether, even on days they genuinely are tired, because the light bouncing off the hairline is doing visual work their concealer used to have to do alone. One important note if you're covering a lot of gray. Dimensional highlights actually blend regrowth better than flat color does, because the natural variation in tone camouflages new gray coming in at the root, rather than creating one hard, obvious demarcation line every few weeks. Before, one flat, even shade absorbing light with no variation, often mistaken for tired skin. After, fine upward angled highlights concentrated at the hairline, bouncing brightness directly toward your face where it matters most. The change isn't your skin. It never was. We've fixed the shape, the fringe, the texture, and the color. But there's one habit left, and it's less about the cut itself and more about how you're wearing whatever length you already have. Part 5. The long, shapeless length that's working against you. Save this one for last on purpose, because it's the mistake I see most often and talk about least. Long hair, past the shoulders, with no real shape cut into it. Just length kept for the sake of length. I want to be clear about something first. Long hair isn't the problem. Plenty of women over 50 wear beautiful long hair. The problem is length with nothing happening inside it. No layers, no shape, no movement, just hair that grows and gets trimmed at the ends every so often to keep it healthy. Here's the honest mechanism behind why this ages a face. Long, uncut, unshaped hair tends to thin naturally toward the ends as we get older. That's just how hair grows and how it's been treated over years of heat and color. Thin, stringy ends framing the face pull focus toward fragility rather than fullness. And fragility at the jawline is the opposite of what most of us are going for. The fix is a shoulder grazing shag. Haircut just at or slightly above the shoulder, with heavy deliberate layering starting around the cheekbones and continuing all the way through the ends. This isn't a drastic chop. You keep meaningful length. What changes is that the length finally has structure built into it instead of just hanging there. Ask your stylist for shag layers specifically, and mention you want the shortest layer to land at cheekbone height, not higher. Layers cut too short near the crown on long hair can create an awkward triangle shape as they grow out. Cheekbone height keeps the silhouette rounder and softer as months pass between appointments. The snapback result is one of the most dramatic on this whole list, honestly. Heavy layering at the ends of long hair does double duty. It removes the thinnest, most fragile-looking hair at the bottom, and it adds visible volume and bounce higher up, near the face. Women tell me their hair suddenly looks thicker after this cut, when really nothing was added. The thin parts were simply removed, and what's left just moves better. Styling stays simple. A texturizing spray on damp mid-lengths and ends, air-dried or diffused, scrunching gently upward. You're building on the layers, not fighting them into a different shape. Before, long, thinning, shapeless ends with no structure, quietly reading as fragile. After, a shoulder grazing shag with deliberate layering from the cheekbones down, reading as full, textured, and deliberate instead of simply grown out. Same commitment to length. Completely different result. 5 habits, 5 fixes, and every single one of them was hiding in plain sight, in a mirror you look at every single day. So here's where you actually landed today. You now know exactly which line, which curl, and which color habit has been quietly working against you, and more importantly, exactly what to say in the chair to fix each one. That's not luck. That's a plan you can walk in with tomorrow. Tell me in the comments, which of these 5 were you doing, and which one are you booking an appointment for first? Next week I'm breaking down the makeup habits doing the same thing to your face that these haircuts do, small, invisible, and completely fixable. Like this video, subscribe to Timeless Wisdom Path, and I'll see you in the next one.